all of us, individually and collectively, spread the vibrations of God's love and light so that in every person, in their hearts, the love gets awakened so that they can love everyone in the creation, love towards human beings, nature elements, and other creatures also. With this awakening of love, they should be able to get rid of negative thoughts, any thought which is violent and could hurt emotionally or physically. So, with determination, be stable and spread the vibrations so that they are able to experience their eternal self of peace. So, I, as a peaceful soul, a loveful soul, spread these vibrations all over the world. Take drishti from Baba.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today's day 19. Soul consciousness, a drop of awareness 5 times a day. Inspire sincerity through simplicity. Embodiment of Sadhana. Now we'll be listening to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. It's not 5 times, it's like whole day. Drop by drop means few thoughts, then another few thoughts. Natural attention on what we have to do during the day, beautiful thoughts about simplicity. It took me to Baba's room, Brahma Baba's room. I think most of you must have gone to Madhuban and visited Baba's room. The way you see it, it was always like that. Most of the time when Baba had to sit, he will sit on that flat mattress on the floor, always, and meet us there. With no chair or comfortable chair. Or, no, Baba always sat on floor until, and he sat on the floor. Actually, even in business, so there was a time when there was business. So most of the owners, if they have to show something like jewelry or like Baba's business, they will always sit on the, they will have cushioned kind of mattress. These days it's very different, right? So it was a good example of simplicity. Mhm. Baba used to tell us, if you keep changing your dress or hairstyle, your devotees will be confused. Mm. So when we surrendered to Baba, at least for me, mm, yeah, when you have to go, when I was in college, I had to go, I will wear colored clothes, but then at the center, always wore a proper BK uniform, which is sari, and same hairstyle. Mm. So devotees can recognize me, right? Or even as an angel. So this concept of simplicity is very connected with sadhana. Sadhana actually means um, efforts, yoga. Sadhak is one who, like devotee, but sadhak is one who tapasya, mm, meditation. It could be efforts, yes. And then sadhan means facilities, devices. So we have to use everything, but it shouldn't affect our sadhana. There are two chapters in the history of Yagya. One is when in 1937, all dadis, all brothers and sisters who came to Yagya, they left everything in the sense of it's not they brought all their comforts to Yagya. No. There was renunciation. That's only story I heard. But story which I was part of and I saw myself is when they came to Delhi to start the service. 1951, they moved to Mount Abu, then towards the end, 52. For 1 year, they didn't come out. They were all there. And then Baba keep telling them, you have to go and give message. So we heard some of the stories of Manor Dadi and some of them who really didn't want it to go. So when came to Delhi, they had minimum of everything, just small handbag, everything in that. But of course, they have sparkling face and divinity, and mm, even with four dresses, but the way they wore it. Uh, you have heard many stories. I won't go in detail that they never ironed clothes, but they will fold it in such a way, put it sari under pillow. But when they wore, nobody will know. Very clean, very tidy, no craze. So, but their sadhana was visible. 14 years of tapasya they did. And for tapasya, there was renunciation. As I mentioned yesterday, that if intellect keep pulling towards belonging or money or anything you have, then there can't be sadhana, right? Because if intellect is being pulled, then it's not sadhana. So the sadhan shouldn't pull the intellect. So it was actually image of sadhana when they came. And they started from scratch, no place, no belongings. And they will never ask anyone for anything, never. But their image, there is one word called sadhavi, that means those who are dedicated and simple, automatically will bring these thoughts or inspire those who come in front of them to kind of see what are their needs, what way we could help. And it used to be minimum requirements. I remember that Baba had asked me, so I went to Ahmedabad and was able to acquire a small space. So Baba sent 500 rupees. So these days we have carpets and foam and all that on the floor, but it was just 50 rupees carpet we bought. In 500 rupees, kitchen, pots, everything we bought. Very simple. And I had mentioned you that for 6 months, we won't use the money to buy the food which is given by people. Yes, we will pay rent and other bills, but Baba will send money to buy the food. So we used to eat simple, regular food. And then out of 500, I still keep 50 rupees aside if there is emergency. So I myself experienced that from there gradually today what the Gujarat is, how many centers, so many buildings, so many Baba's children, so many of them. So in Delhi also gradually the expansion of service happened. So one is that everyone's life, body required, there are some requirements, some necessities, some needs, right? Which we cannot deny. We need somewhere we will sleep or eat, or they're all basic needs of the life. They say food, shelter, and housing. These are the needs of the human life. So, but gradually those needs become more like I have to be comfortable, right? Then it grows, then it becomes more luxury. And internally our dependency on that start growing. I remember that when I came to New York, we were able to rent a small place, very small 1 bedroom apartment. And then, you know, New York is a place, a lot of people pass from here. Very simple 1 bedroom apartment. So there was not space, but also we didn't want to spend a lot of money. Bought one chair, $30. And that chair we had for so many years. Because if Daddy comes, where will she sit? No? So very, very simple. So, and then these days, yeah, devices, mm, how much intellect is pulled towards our iPhone, our computer. Mm. I remember when, Anthony Graceman, who was very yogi soul, once was asking one sister, do you remember Baba as many times as many you are pulled towards your computer? And she really realized, no, I think more of what message, what is there. One is it's there, but also intellect is pulled. And if that many times intellect is pulled towards Baba, so it is important to use devices because you won't be able to manage, no? So everyone needs phone. Mm. But intellect keeps pulling towards that is really something which is obstacles in sadhana. And that is why I know that uh, there is one sister, very yogi soul and very internationally at service. She gets minimum of 100 emails per day, but she has fixed 2 hours to read and reply. But she doesn't see at all in the morning or very often. It was same with me when I didn't know how to operate. Then I knew I have this 1 hour, 2 hours where I have to. But otherwise, anytime you sit to, oh, let me see, email has come, message has come, text message has come. So somewhere start contradicting our sadhana and sadhan. So whether it is physical comforts, because need shouldn't then keep becoming a greed kind of very subtly, more of this, more facility, more, because dependency also will start happening. But more is full of intellect. Baba says yoga of intellect should be with me. And I was thinking today, let's say Baba is giving us signal, right? direction. My intellect is very engaged. But even if I catch signal, am I ready to adopt to the stage which is needed in that situation? Situation needs to be bodiless. Situation needs to be like an angel. Situation needs to grant vision. So one is creating those stages, other is at the right time to emerge that stage. So I pass with honor. Not pass with honor because stage could be a fear, confrontation, anything, calamity. So Baba is giving signal, and my intellect is just busy in watching what is happening, what will happen, what's happening. There was a time when I saw dadis always felt, oh Baba, signal this, Baba gave this direction, because their intellect was not engaged all the time. So the balance between sadhana and sadhana get lost. Baba always talks about balance between of karma yoga. Is intellect with karma or with Baba while doing actions? Because that's where blessings come. Karma yoga brings the blessing. Same is sadhana and sadhana, that balance. I know during sometimes, even when Avek Babdada comes, Baba is giving drishti, and some souls are still looking at the messages. So if we really, for ourselves, make certain timings for everything, one might say it's necessary, but then also start becoming habit. So how to use material things, devices, in such a proportionate way that my sadhana, few hours in the morning, during traffic control, few moments every hour, in the evening, because very, very important to have this balance for receiving blessings from Baba, but also creating through sadhana. You have to create particular stages. Embodiment of love, embodiment of peace, accumulation of powers, all that is required sadhana. So we could allow ourselves for a while saying, okay, the fluctuations happen in the stage or the mood or face, right? So what is true service really? What is true efforts? So not to be distracted, right? Not to be distracted. Anytime I feel little bit pulled towards Baba, look at Baba, take drishti, take signal from Baba. And now as the time is moving forward, we will need that more and more. So there are souls now, because of Zoom, they are very, very busy. So one soul was telling me that. I said, well, we have to have silence of intellect too, because otherwise the words and words, only words, either too much listening or too much talking, will not allow the soul to have that stage which is needed. So even if there is a lot of demand, lot of need, but we have to just set our timetable. Especially at this time, we have to be a good example of sadhana and sadhana, karma yogi, doing actions and remembering Baba. So somewhere we have to pay attention so that we're not only listening all the time, because that also so much information, even experiences. It's a very short, beautiful story about one monk, they say. So they saw on the top of the mountain a temple they had to reach. So this one keep asking different travelers, how is it? How is the experience when when they were returning? He had so many experiences. He said, why I need to go? I now know what is there. Each one of us, our sanskars, our part, and from Baba's Murli, if you really, really go in depth, clear understanding of everything. So that there is no kind of, some people uh, like to listen a lot. And I say, listen, but that also allow yourself to be in reflection, in inner quietness, then keep listening. As some, they are asked to talk a lot, join this, join this, join this. They also have to see that how much they should be talking. Because body is also sadhan, no? So body's timetable should also be between sadhana and sadhan, not only sadhan. Constantly keep using devices, intellect keep pulling there. And it happens, majority of the instruments, or even in family. So balance is important, use is necessary, and not make life luxurious, simple, so that we started this spiritual journey, and so continue with that sadhana so that you are able to have very, very clear connection with Baba, getting Baba's directions every day, more spiritual fragrance, and becoming the embodiment of knowledge, of yoga, of dharana, so that true service can also happen. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone. Yesterday and today are so connected. So when Sister Mohini started to share about simplicity and the example of Baba's room, it's so natural that you walk into Baba's room and all you can feel is vibrations of tapasya all these years later after Baba. So the impact of Baba's simplicity and Baba's tapasya has left those vibrations. Of course, yes, we are also going in and creating that, but most of what you feel in Baba's room is Baba's vibrations, right? Was also remembering Dadi's room. You know, any one of the Dadis, you walk into their room, it's the same thing. So simple, so sparkling, and so inviting, full of light, right? So simplicity as it connects to sadhana. I love this word sadhana. I think most of us love this word sadhana. Deep spiritual endeavor of any kind. So our renunciation, Sister Moni said, is for tapasya, not just for the sake of renunciation, but it's really towards tapasya. And this whole concept of where it all begins, we just need a few basic things in life, basic needs of life. And then you want to be a little more comfortable, and then a little more comfortable, and then luxury, something that is very unique and exclusive just for you. And then how we become dependent on that with this gradual progression. I guess many of us even can feel from our own life how, when we came to Baba or when we were children, how little our needs were. I was also thinking of Sister Moini was mentioning about sitting on the floor in Baba's room, because Baba used to sit on the floor all the time. How many of us can do that, actually? And I always feel that if we continue to sit on the floor right from the beginning, perhaps today we could all sit on the floor. But when we stop doing that, perhaps the body gives up too, right? It doesn't act as flexible. So this idea of how it progresses, whatever we give to the body, it wants more of it, right? So now it's our journey backwards from our dependency back to less luxury, less comfort, and of course back to the basic needs. Now a lot of sadhana is connected to the contemporary sadhana, the one that we are all in front of even now, computer, iPhone, whatever. And it's strange that we are talking about the sadhana, right, through the sadhana. And so devices tomorrow, it's going to be an interesting little exercise, I think, quite intricate, and it's going to need a lot of our attention and discipline. And perhaps we can use this as an opportunity actually to create a little discipline and timetable around our devices. I know it's easily said than done, but I think tomorrow is a good start, especially given all the reasons that Sister Moini so beautifully described, because you have to be proficient in creating stages, receiving Baba's signals, acting on them, receiving, keeping the balance and receiving blessings from Baba as a karma yogi. So beautiful, right? Those reasons, how we should really aim towards that. And I was thinking that for some of us, yes, when we are alone by ourselves, We could probably do our own timetable with our device, but a lot of our activities on the device is connected with others. So maybe it should be a collective exercise of, we would only be checking on certain times or so many times a day or things like that. So an interesting little exercise we're walking into tomorrow. And I love this concept of silence of the intellect and inner quiet, and how we have to move away from this hunger that we have created just for listening and accumulating information, as versus, going deeper inside to Baba's wisdom, knowledge, and getting that satisfaction, deeper contentment from clear understanding of everything. So it's a whole different quality of experience that, the two things offer. What's coming from the outside, the noise, the information, what experience that creates, and the experience that is created from something that is deeper and comes from Baba. And of course, lastly, this whole aspect of the body as a sadhan also, right? It's also a device. We're using the device of the body. So how much we have to be in balance in using it for the right cause, and also not getting dependent on it. So beautiful thoughts to go into tomorrow with for our practice on the balance of sadhana and sadhan. So this is what it is. I, the living being of light, I am incorporeal, egoless, and viceless, seated on my lotus throne. I am the embodiment of sadhana. I am the embodiment of sadhana, and sadhana was described today is really to make sure there's no distractions, pulls that pull you away from Baba. Seated on my lotus throne, I am the embodiment of sadhana. As an instrument, I use the sadhan, the facilities for service, without becoming dependent or trapped. I, the living being of light, I am incorporeal, egoless, and viceless. Seated on my lotus throne, I am the embodiment of sadhana. As an instrument, I use the sadhan, the facilities, for service without becoming dependent or trapped in them. And as I said, we have become so intricately attached to these devices that we're going to have to watch ourselves very closely and, check ourselves for those habits we have created. And perhaps we should do this for a longer time, Sister Mohini, not just one day, but really pay attention to this balance of sadhana and sadhan, which really is a reflection of a real yogi, isn't it? So all the best for your interesting, but also I think it's a very important practice or awareness out of all the things that I feel tomorrow's practice is very, very significant. Om Shanti.
So we are continuing on journey to be Nyara and Pyara, right? That's where we began. This is our third week, and this is the third topic where we had soul consciousness and in soul consciousness, relationship with body, and now is relationship with the material things. So we are on same journey, Nyara and Pyara. That's why I say seated on the lotus throne. So it's really worth practicing to see you do it, fix certain hours to do it, and how it works. And definitely you will see improvement in your sadhana. Otherwise, there are very subtle distractions which disrupt really to be consistent, but also be a good karma yogi while doing actions. Stay in awareness of soul consciousness and awareness of remembrance of Baba. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vyakti Journey. Today's day 8. Brahma Baba in Bab Dada's eyes, always combined and deeply loved.
कौन से बच्चे अकुट ज्ञानी अटल स्वराज्य अधिकारी अखंड निर्विघ्न अखंड योगी अखंड महादानी ऐसी विशेष आत्माएं कोटों में कोई बने हुए ज्ञानी योगी महादानी सभी बने, लेकिन अखंड कोई कोई बने जो अकुट अटल और अखंड है, वही विजय माला की विजयी मन के बाप दादा ने संगम युग पर सभी बच्चों को अटल अखंड भव का वरदान दिया, लेकिन वरदान को जीवन में सदा धारण करने में नंबर वार बन गए। नंबर 1 बनने के लिए सबसे सहज विधि है अखंड महादानी बनो। अखंड महादानी अर्थात निरंतर सहज सेवादारी, क्योंकि सहज ही निरंतर हो सकता है। अखंड सेवादारी अर्थात अखंड महादानी दान देने के बिना रह नहीं सकते। अपने आप से पूछो कि अखंड महादानी हो, वह समय परम chance परमाणदानी हो।
ये जिंदगी उसी की है, ये जिंदगी उसी की है, जो किसी का हो गया, प्यार ही में खो गया। ये जिंदगी उसी की है, जो किसी का हो गया, प्यार ही में खो गया। ये जिंदगी उसी की है, ये जिंदगी उसी की है।
Yes, we all have to rethink about how we make timetable and use devices, but also balance it with sadhana. Because yes, for service we need devices, we need facilities, but sadhana is to reach to our destination. Okay, Om Shanti and good night.